Welcome back to SF Live. I'm your host, Myrna Lim. Tonight we have a very special guest, a person who's running for the board of the City College of San Francisco. She brings a wealth of experience to this position should she get elected. She is a lawyer specializing in workers' comp. She's a community leader, having worked with the youth and having worked with minority and immigrants in the Tenderloin, in Chinatown, all throughout San Francisco. She has relationships with people who have been involved in the community, in the public defender's office, in community organizations, and in government. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hanna Leung. Hi, Hanna, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So, how are you enjoying this election? A lot
Well,
of hard work, huh?
a lot of hard work, but so far so good. I am having a good time.
Okay. Well, I've heard a lot about you during this election season, and it looks like I believe you're going to win if I have to put my money on it, because people like you. I mean, your background is you're a workers' comp lawyer. Okay, so you're already on the side of people who need advocacy, right? You have been the executive director for the Newcomers Center.
I'm the chair of
The
the
chair
board of directors of
of
the
the
Chinese Newcomer Service Center.
Which
Yes.
works with immigrant population.
Yes, the new immigrants and help them to assimilate into the American society,
Okay.
and also give them help them in a lot of social issues
Okay.
and answer the questions.
Right. And you're also the chair for the Community Youth Center in the Tenderloin?
Nope, I am on the executive board.
Executive
yeah,
board.
of the Community
Okay.
Youth Center.
Okay. In the Tenderloin.
Yes.
So, could you talk about these two experiences that you had and then kind of tie that in? Is that what triggered you to decide that, I would like to work in the City College? I mean, I would like to represent people in the City College board.
Well, it's really a combination of all
Right.
of my past life experiences.
Okay.
I've been in business in my law office for
Right.
26 years, so it's a
Right.
long time.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, probably longer than some of the people alive. Especially the student that we're serving in City College.
Right.
But because I'm the workers' comp attorney,
Right.
so I understand the workers and their
Right.
need for training and
Okay.
vocational training, especially to return to work. And I also work with a lot of immigrants in my community service,
Okay.
and also the immigrant population benefit tremendously from training from City College. And also having served on the board, having chaired an organization that was whose funding was cut 100%
Right.
from the government in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I know the difficulty of running an organization trying to provide services,
Right.
and yet with very limited funding.
Right. Now, City College right now is, as a matter of fact, I interviewed a former trustee with Dees. Oh, he had a lot of, he served at City College for 17 years. I think
Yes.
he did an excellent job and with the new facilities and so forth. And then Natalie Berg, and I have so much respect for her. And then there was, of course, that letter from the accreditation committee stating that, okay, City College of San Francisco, you have to shape up and you have however many months, 8 months or so, or otherwise you will lose your accreditation, which I think is quite crazy. But Rodell was explaining that there are some structural problems with regards to the budgeting process with City College, the fact that it's lost so much money from the state, and the fact that majority of the expenses are through the employees, that because of the civil service that they're tied in with the city and also with the pension, which seems to be a prevailing problem throughout. I mean, the governor just has to deal with that. There's a pension fund issues that the legislature had to deal with and so forth. So there seems to be a lot going on. So it's good for City College to have somebody like you with experience. But the question is it good for you?
Well, of
So,
course.
I mean, the challenge that is.
Well, for the challenge, and be honest, when
Right.
I first entered the race,
Right.
it was not as tense as this.
Yeah.
The situation was not as dire as we have today.
Did you know that coming in or no? No.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
But what we have is a very, very dire situation that we
Right.
need to right its course.
Right.
So I think for right now, we do have a budget issue,
Right.
largely from the cut from the state,
Right.
because they are really our single biggest funder.
Right.
And when the state is not really performing what they are supposed to do, that is giving us the adequate funding, we are going to have problem. And of
Right.
course, the schools, the trustees, the board of trustees, what they have not done in the last so many years is be able to foresee what to come
Right.
with the economy.
Right.
Now it's hard. I mean, I don't. It's hindsight is always 20/20.
Right.
So I mean, I hate to say, well, you should have seen it, but really nobody saw it coming in some
Right.
ways. Even our most intelligent economists
Right.
did not anticipate the depression or
Right.
our economy to be in a slump for as long as it had been.
Right.
So for that reason, I think it is not fair to say it is all the trustees' fault.
Right.
But at the same time, we just were not really prepared on the revenue side to
Right.
think that in the event that we do not get this adequate funding
Right.
from the state, how we should handle the financial situation. And of course, there's also internal issues regarding the finances and how
Right.
it's handled. But that's the leadership issue and management issue.
Right.
That is also the center of the accreditation report as well.
Right. So, have you talked to, I guess, the incumbents, and do you get a sense from them as to how they're dealing with this issue and how you're going to be a part of that team, hopefully,
Yeah.
of coming up with a solution? I mean, we don't want people who, obviously talk about more problems. There's obviously some serious problem at hand, and take somebody with experience and wherewithal and a little bit of foresight would help at this point.
I have talked to almost everybody on the board.
Right.
I have talked to all the 3 incumbents. I have talked to everyone except the president of the board at this time, and we're trying to get together. But he's very busy.
Who's the president right
The
now?
president of the board is John Rizzo.
Oh, that's right, John Reeser, and he's running for supervisor
so
also.
he is very busy,
In
and
District
I'm
5, right,
yeah, and I'm
right.
trying to schedule a
Right.
sit-down session with him, and of course he's very busy with the board as well
Right.
as his own campaign.
Right.
But I have talked to everybody,
Right.
and I think everyone has the same idea. They're really trying to do the best
Right.
for the college.
Yeah.
But I think in the past the board had some really differences in opinions,
Right.
and certain issues just cannot move forward
Right.
because of that. So I think hopefully with my negotiation skills, I've been
Right.
doing dispute resolutions for many, many years,
Right.
and
Excellent.
able to really pull both sides together
Right.
to talk, have meaningful conversation, to
Right.
find a solution, rather than really just holding dead fast to their ideal and to
Right.
their ideas and not be able to yield to any other suggestions.
Right.
So I hope that I can do that for the board and be able to come up with solutions. And of course, we also have to look a little bit into the future
Right.
with a little bit of foresight into how we should handle our problems at hand.
Now, with the accreditation commission, do you have any gist of the conversations that's been going on between the trustees and the accreditation? I mean, from what I read in the paper, what they're asking for is quite a bit of a tall order.
Yeah. Well, what I get is probably just as much information as you've been able to get from the paper.
Right.
I am not on the board, therefore I'm
Right.
not privy to
Not
a lot
yet,
of
okay.
not yet on the board.
All
So
right.
I'm not privy to the communications
Right.
between the accreditation team and the board of trustees.
Right.
But of course, a lot of the meetings are open. So
Sure.
in that sense, open meetings, we do have a sense of what they're saying.
Right.
But there is a large gap of time between the first time when we received
Right.
the warning, which was 6 years ago,
Right.
until now when we received the letter to show cause,
Right.
which meaning you are really the last chance.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, there seems to be some problems with that. Riddell, in my interview with him here, was saying that letter was never there. They just came up with it out of nowhere or something, and they were not.
I think,
presented.
yeah, I think nobody really took it very, very seriously, to the
Right.
sense that they didn't know as serious as it was.
Right.
But at the same time, just don't forget, we had, in the past few years, there's no continuity of leadership.
Right.
The chancellor right now is still an interim chancellor, and
Wow.
her contract expires in October.
Wow, like in a few days.
Yeah, so well, I think it might be the end of October, but
Uh-huh.
but it's going to be soon enough
Right.
that she's supposed to be gone. The last chancellor was supposed to retire in September of this year, like this month, but he had to leave early because of
Oh, he has a brain
personal
tumor.
illness.
Right.
Yeah, so he took off in around, I believe, like April or March of this year.
Right.
And of course, we have also, he was only in the chancellor position for a couple of years.
Right.
So I think it's a lot of the continuity that we don't have,
Right.
that really got us into some of this mess right now.
Right. Right. Now, City College of San Francisco has what, 90,000 students.
Yeah.
You know, I went to City College of San Francisco before I went to UC Berkeley, and I mean that's a very economical, very practical way for a lot of people who can't. I mean, who can go into who can go into, UC Berkeley now? It's expensive now to.
Exactly. It's not just the expense.
And it's
and
very competitive.
Yeah, and I think that by law, that once when you go into City College,
Right.
you attain a certain GPA, and the top so many
Right.
percent will be admitted into UCs. So it's a very good way. It's a very good way.
Exactly.
Yeah, for students to go into the UC system or
Right.
the CSU system.
And there was some discussion about closing certain schools as well.
We have a lot of campuses,
Right.
or centers. Now
Right.
we're corrected to say they're not all campuses.
Right.
But we have many teaching facilities
Right.
that I think the trustees will have to take
Yeah,
a
I
hard
love the
look.
swimming pool area there, the wellness center.
Oh, the wellness center is
Yeah.
built with the bond money, and
Exactly.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, but we have so many campuses and
Right.
teaching facilities that I think some of them may have to close,
Right.
and to save costs.
Right.
But we really need to study them
Right.
well to see whether that's justified.
Right.
Because I think we may be on the hook for certain leases, whether even if we close
Oh,
them.
really?
And some
Yeah.
of the campuses that we own. So it's not as simple as just closing them.
It seems to me, looking at it from a distance, that City College trustee really needs a good team. I had a feeling that in the last 2 to 3 years, maybe, that the board became so fractured. I think there's some
Yeah.
too much politics that got injected into it. I mean, of course, it's all politics, but when the team is not in place, it's not working as a cohesive unit. I think.
Yeah.
Do you sense that?
I think the board is not working as a cohesive unit,
Right.
and that's really bad enough.
Yeah.
But I think the college as a whole is
Right.
not working as a cohesive unit as well.
Right.
So the board, some of our decision is at odds with certain of the faculties and at odds with certain of the classified employees. So and also students. There's so many
Right.
groups on campus
Right.
that I think that we all have our own agenda, and they just not seem to be able to work well together.
Right.
At least at this point. So we're
Yeah.
hoping things will change.
Because I remember when there was the team of Natalie Berg and Rodell and Wong,
Anita Greer.
Anita Greer, and so forth, and Chancellor Day, and I don't care how they criticize him and that stupid bond thing. I think they were overzealous about trying to make City College a better place, and it's one of those things. But I think they had a good leadership going there. I think it was a cohesive unit. At that point, it was a growth period for City College. and-
Yeah, well, it's a cohesive unit,
Yeah.
but we cannot forget that there are 3 other seats. So
Exactly.
as long as that we cannot get the other half
Yeah.
buy in, we're gonna have a problem. So I
Right.
think we really need the entire board to be a cohesive
Exactly.
unit.
How many seats are there?
There are 7.
7. Now, does that include the student seat?
No,
Or no?
the student trustee, I believe, is a non-voting seat.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a student trustee seat
Right.
and also 7 board of trustees.
Well, and there's no term limit there, so that's good.
There's no term limits there.
Yeah. So coming in, I guess considering the fact that you have this short fuse to deliver to the Accreditation Commission, you can't think of anything more than that. I mean, for the brief moment, but when Rodell was here, he was talking about how the Board of Trustees would have summits and just those powwow periods when you have to like brainstorm and think in terms of, okay, here is the problem at hand, but let's start strategies. Let's start talking strategies about steering this big ship into some direction.
Well, I still think people need to be able to agree and have these summits be an efficient meeting.
Right.
Because they can be talking for a long time. But if they cannot make a decision,
Right.
then it's just time not well spent.
Right.
And all the trustees have other occupation, have a job.
Right.
So they cannot be spending all day long talking the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think it has to be to run tighter, the meetings.
Right.
It has to be have some more constructive result rather than just meeting for the sake of meeting.
Right.
Yeah. So I think some change. We just need some change on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, to change the dynamic, to make it work better.
Right. Huh. So anyway, let's talk about you. Your family. Your husband used to be a public defender.
Yes, he was a public defender.
Bruce Chan, and does that influence you at all? I mean,
Well, not in this particular situation.
I guess he can't help you now, huh?
Not now, but at the same time, yes, over the years we have talked
Right.
on many issues, and I
Right.
would have to say some of his views have rubbed off on me.
Exactly.
Yeah, on social issues.
Right.
mostly,
Yeah. Well, that's City College needs that. I mean, after all, City College of San Francisco is it's mainly an immigrant sort of population.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Well,
It's,
City College are mostly
it's a very diverse.
has a
group.
large population of women
Right.
and immigrants,
Right.
and I don't think, and a lot of them are of Asian descent,
Right.
and I don't think that they really have that representation on the board
Right.
right now.
That's right.
So myself, I'm a first generation immigrant,
Right.
and I have come up through public education, so I
Right.
understand the needs. I understand the difficulties for
Right.
immigrants to get settled in this country.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I think it's very important to
They have
have that
excellent
voice.
programs. They have culinary school.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Those programs are
Right.
excellent, and we have a great football program, athletics program.
Oh yeah, that's right. Now is Doug Chan still in the? What board is he in?
Well, he is. Oh, my brother-in-law.
Your brother-in-law, Doug Chan. He loves jazz, right?
Yes, he loves jazz.
He's got all those postings on Facebook. They're always the jazz.
I know. I don't know how he has time to do that.
He does them late at night, so he's probably when he's relaxing at the end of a long day. What commission is he in now?
I can't even keep track on he should be on the Human Rights Commission.
Oh, Human Rights
Yes,
Commission. Oh,
yes,
great.
Yes.
Well, he's human.
Yes.
He's a good influence.
Yes, yes.
So you have
yes.
very good influences within your sphere.
Yeah, my family, they've really very civic-minded people.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we are, our family has always talked politics, and of course my other brother-in-law is in the nonprofit world.
Oh, Michael Chan. Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
he's in
Of course, Michael Chan is the executive director of Asian Inc.,
Yeah.
nonprofit housing.
Mhm.
There you go.
Yes, so we have really
Right.
the legislative, the executive, and then
You guys